G'day, I've just come down to one of my local favourite birding spots. Well, it's not quite local, it's about a 12-minute drive from home. But I'm here specifically to look for some pink-eared ducks. Pink-eared duck is a rare and endangered species in the state of Victoria. And they've been spotted here recently, so I thought I'd come down and see if I could film them and photograph them. And I've spotted them on this little stick or branch sitting out in the water here. But it's quite a popular spot for the birds, and there's been a fair bit of competition for it. And I was shooting from just over behind where you are, side on from that, with the sun behind me. And obviously I've forgotten to turn my phone off. I'll do that later. And there was just too much distraction there. There were people walking behind me, and this is a common place for dog walking, and so the birds were getting disrupted a lot. And the ducks kept coming back, but other birds kept coming and shooing them off this branch. And so I thought I'd move into this a little bit more of a secluded spot and try and shoot them while I'm here. But that's not what I really want to talk to you about. I'll just sit here and wait and see what comes back to this stick. I've been thinking about what to do with the channel during the almost year off that I've had with COVID and some heart operations. And you remember last time I was talking about recovering from a knee injury, which thankfully I have. Since then we've also had 2 new grandchildren, and that's taken up a lot of my time. So it's really just been time to sort of sit and contemplate. I'd originally thought during lockdown that I was going to be able to do some in-studio videos talking about some gear and some of my favourite places to go and some technical things like processing and so on. But in the end, I just couldn't get motivated to do that. I was really struggling for a while to get enthusiastic about keeping going with this. And I know that's not unique. I've been watching a few of my YouTube colleagues who have been saying similar things. Because really, I do these videos as a way of sharing my passion for the outdoors, wildlife, landscape, and being out in nature and recording it. And so when I couldn't do that, it just seemed a bit difficult to get on top of doing more videos just for the sake of keeping clicks and views on the channel. Not that I mind you subscribing and liking and clicking and sharing it. Obviously that's the reason I'm doing it, is to share. I don't make a lot of money out of it, you know, a few $100s out of advertising, and a few links below that you'll find to things like Topaz. If you want to buy Topaz software, I make a small commission on sales for that if you go through my link. But that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm really doing it to try and share my love of the great outdoors, to use a cliche. So I've had time to think, and I really think it's time I kick my own butt into gear and just say, well, let's get back out there and do some more, and hang the challenges that have been for the last year. One of the things that I really wanted to do last year, with having retired from full-time work, was to build up my photography workshops and teaching, and of course that all got shut down. The teaching that I was doing has just restarted, which is good. But I really wanted to get out and do more workshops in areas, particularly that were affected this time a year ago by the bushfires in Victoria and New South Wales and South Australia, so all around Southeast Australia. And that, of course, has been just shut down as well. So this year is going to be a lot more about getting out and doing some reconnaissance work on some locations and finding some accommodation places to recommend to people and so on. So I'll be doing a bit of that, and hopefully I'll be showing you some of those things along the way. one of the things that I've been asked a lot about, given where I live, is to do some more sort of travel landscape photography, so showing some locations that people are interested in. A lot of my viewers are not locals around Victoria, where I live, and one of the most famous tourist locations, well, it's a series of locations in Victoria, is the Great Ocean Road. And so I've decided for this year's project, one of them anyway, but certainly for a YouTube project, is to do a virtual tour of the Great Ocean Road. And so I'll do another intro to that coming up and talk a bit more about that in detail, so look out for that one. And what I'm trying to do there is to take you to some of my favourite places to shoot. I'm not going to be trying to be comprehensive, you simply can't. There are 1,000 places that you could shoot, and I could spend the rest of my life going to various locations and showing you where to photograph and so on. But I don't really want to be telling people what to do. I really want to show them what's possible and give them an introduction to some of the locations, and at the same time for each of those locations do one shoot at least for each one, and to show you a variety of sort of landscape photography and seascape photography that you can do. I'm not going to be going to places that are really hard to get to. There are a lot of places that require a bit of four-wheel driving and or a long and sometimes semi-dangerous walk to get to. And I'm not really going to be trying to encourage people to go to places like that. There are plenty of other ways that you can find out about those locations if you really want to see them. But I'll take you to some of the famous ones, but I'll also take you to some of the places that are not so famous, and do a little bit of a travel log at the same time, talking about the locations, what else there is to see and do around them, and show off some of the tourist things to do as well. My son runs a business on teaching Australian English, and some of the things that we've been talking about doing together, I do a weekly, well, sometimes it's more than weekly and sometimes it's less, but roughly a weekly podcast with him, just talking crap, talking about life and the news and so on. And one of the things that we've been talking about doing is talking about some of the locations that people can visit when they come to Australia. And so we might do some cross-channel videos where I'm talking about landscape photography, he's talking about locations and so on. That's still to be worked out, but there'll be more on that as we go. In the meantime, I'm going to stay positive. I've got so much to look forward to this year now. A brand new baby granddaughter who was born 4 days ago. 3 other beautiful grandchildren. My 2 children live close by, so I get to see the whole family more than once a week each. And I've also got the chance now to do what I was planning to do last year with a bit more planning set up for it. Best laid plans, of course, as we've all seen over the last year, collapse. But I'm going to try and make the most of the next few months to try and set up the next couple of years of my business. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm not going to be working full-time again. I've got too many other things that I'm enjoying doing, but I really am going to try and put some more effort into this channel. So if you've got any ideas, any things that you'd like me to do, any places that you'd like me to go in southeastern Australia, other than the Great Ocean Road, because I'm already committed to do that, let me know in the comments below, or contact me privately. You can message me through my website or through Instagram, and I'm more than happy to try and build up a bit more of the sort of travel landscape photography. I'm not quite in the adventure stages of my life anymore. I really want to be able to show people places that they can get to relatively easily. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to show you some really nice walks. In addition to the seascapes along the Great Ocean Road, there are some beautiful rainforest walks, walks through tall eucalypt forests. It's a spectacular place for waterfalls, and who doesn't like to shoot waterfalls? So I'll show you some of those as well. So if you think you're interested in following me and you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Click the little bell if you want to be notified when new videos come out. Like this video if you want to, dislike it if you want to, but if you dislike it, write a comment below. If you like it, you want to write a comment below too. That helps, but I'm more than happy to try and adjust what I'm doing to suit you, the audience, because without you, this channel is sort of pointless. It'll exist because I'll keep going out and recording, but I really want to make it about you and what you want. So let me know. And remember, pixels are free, so get out there and shoot more. Now I've just got to sit here and wait for some ducks to come back. I shouldn't be talking so loud, should I? There are some other beautiful birds here, so I'll try and get some video and some shots of those as well. So hopefully I'll close with those. If not, we'll just fade to black now. Bye for now.